I woke up early the next morning with perfection on my mind. I wanted to make sure that me and Nadia had one of the best days of our life before we got to the grind. The first thing I did was try and find the best tourist packages that the city had to offer. I found a hop on, hop off tour that would drop us off right in the center of Fifth Avenue. Our first stop of the day was Saks on Fifth. The environment there was lit, unmatched, and different than any large department store that I had ever seen. It had spacious showrooms and marble floors that gave it a feel of luxury and comfort that screamed out classic Manhattan. Their exclusive trends were highlighted all throughout the store. The top designers had their own sections to display their latest fashions. Even though the store was mad packed, there was still plenty of space to shop. Nadia was like a kid in a candy store. "Oh my God, I love this," she said as she held up the Alexander McQueen sleeveless floral jacquard sheath dress up to her petite framed body. "I'm a diva, darling," she purred as she impersonated a rich snob. "I've got to try this one on." When I turned to look, she held up an asymmetrical ruffled knit off shoulder gown. I knew nothing about women's clothing, but it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out this was the place to be. By all means, I let Nadia have the time of her life. I was all smiles while we balled out. Lord knows, the worst place you could ever be is with a woman while she's shopping. But as promised to myself, I was there. Nadia began to wrap right around my finger as she plunged further and further in debt. "Okay, Chloe, St. Laurent, or Tory Burch?" she asked as she held up a few favorable handbags. "Definitely the Chloe," I said as I went straight off the opinion of what I would want to see her draped in if she entertained my presence. "That Burberry one kinda dope too." "Get 'em all," I said. Our next stop was the Salvatore Ferragamo store. She picked up a few pair of shoes, and I grabbed a few belts. She grabbed more handbags, and I grabbed more fragrances. I fell in love with the Ferragamo F80. The watch had a 44mm titanium gold treatment case, scratch-resistant black brushed ceramic top, and a black dial. It had a quartz chronograph movement, black rubber strap and buckle, scratch-resistant sapphire crystal, and came with a 2-year warranty. The Ferragamo F80 was made for a champion, so I had to invest. Nadia and I both left the store with a bang as we fucked off another grand or two just on frames. If it was one thing that I had honest was the capability to clean up nice. After Nadia tore a patch out of the Fendi, next stop was Louis Vuitton. And after that, I let her get razzled and dazzled at Tiffany and Company's. I picked out the dopest heart tag charm they had, made from 18 karat gold rose gold. She picked out the watch. The Tiffany CT60 was also rose gold with 18 carats, white Celil diamond features, and gold Poulier numerals. The band was a white alligator strap, 34mm case set with 60 round brilliant diamonds with a carat total weight of .60. The watch had self-winding mechanical movement and was water resistant up to 100 meters, which was equivalent to 330 feet. It was beautifully Swiss made. I looked down at the receipt for Tiffany's and Company and was not surprised that the watch was $500 shy of 20 grand. Ouch, I thought to myself. "Thank you," Nadia said as the dimples in her cheeks perked up a bit and her sparkling white teeth twinkled. "Oh, it ain't nothing," I told her. "I know if you had it, you would hold me up first chance you got." She gave me a look that agreed, and the thought of it satisfied me. Only time would tell if she'd perform or not. I had a plan, and she was a part of it. When we left Fifth Avenue, we caught the bus back down to the room to drop off all our things. The Statue of Liberty was our first stop that was considered a real attraction. Me personally, I burned inside at the thought of this country trying to cover up the truth. It made me sick to my stomach when I thought about the lie they were living. "Did you know that that's really a black woman?" I asked Nadia, trying to kick her some history. Duh. A broken shackle lies at the statue's right foot. The chain disappears beneath her draperies, only to reappear in the front of the left one. Now listen to this, she said as she stood a little closer and gave me a very serious look. Although the broken shackle is a powerful image, the meaning behind it and symbolism did not become a reality until at least 100 years later. I looked back at Nadia and back up at the statue and realized that I must admit I was very impressed. There was nothing more sexy to me than a strong black woman that knew her black history. We caught the Ellis Island ferry back to our pickup spot, then went and checked out the Empire State Building. The downtown tour was cool. From Times Square to Madison Garden, from Madison Garden to the Empire State Building, from Little Italy to Wall Street, from Wall Street to the Lower East Side, and then finally, the last stop before lunch was the Rockefeller Center. So far, so good. New York was a dope-ass city, and me and Nadia was loving it already and had just barely made it to half the day. I took her to go eat somewhere uptown Harlem at a reputable spot named Londell's. The OG cat that owned the joint was full of game and sparked my interest the second I stepped in the door. Londell's Supper Club had exquisite continental Cajun and traditional Southern cuisine. The entrees were a well-balanced blend of spices and special unique sauces. The meat and vegetables were grade A fresh and prepared accordingly to your liking. Broiled, fried, or sauteed. On mamas, me and baby ate like a fat rat. The menu offered a variety of vegetables, meats, and seafood to please vegetarians, diet conscious, and whoever else. I fucked up some grilled breasted chicken served with Dijon mustard cream sauce. She fucked up some scrumptious honey barbecue baby back ribs. I took a plate of Louisiana blackened catfish to go. These were just a few of the tasty meals offered at Londell's. So let him tell it himself, he had the best country collard greens, homemade potato salad, candy yams, and baked macaroni and cheese on the East Coast. If you ever in New York, come holler at the OG. He located over here off of Frederick Douglass Boulevard. After lunch, the Uptown Harlem tour was different. Shit got real when we rode past the Apollo Theater. It brought back so many memories. We passed back through Fifth Avenue, then off to Central Park. This park was humongous, not to mention elegantly beautiful. Central Park is the most visited park in the United States, as well as one of the most filmed locations in the world. I grabbed hold of Nadia's hand and finessed on her. After we left Uptown Harlem, we slid through Brooklyn, checked out their trendy and historic neighborhoods. We passed by Prospect Park and topped off our night enjoying breathtaking views of the glittering Manhattan skyline and admired how the Brooklyn Bridge lit up against the night sky. Just as planned, I had made the day one to remember.